That doesn't sound right. Needs more personality. BoomBox, help me out here. So let's add some elements. There you go. That's more personality. Cool. Okay. Let's try another example. Drum groove first, right? Everybody has drum grooves, but you need to personalize it. You need to add cool stuff to it. So BoomBox is here to do that. Here's with BoomBox. Sweeps, hit textures, right? Then you can rock. Intelligent techno. So hello, my name is John Skippy Limcool. Welcome to a new video. I'm showing a new library. This is actually two libraries in one, and I'll explain in a minute, but the concept is BoomBox is hits, transitions, and textures. And that gives you elements to personalize your tracks on a production level so that they're unique. That's what this library is about. And it's a good thing to do during Halloween because hits and stuff, I mean, come on, booms and hits and stuff, this is the time of year you... So anyway, I want to show you about this library and how it works. It came out really well. It's 300 patches. There's 8 multis. On top of that, notice that there's this graphic for this library. That's because there's a second library. This is the second year at Halloween I've done a thing where I have invited Plugin Guru customers. Last year it was a competition. And I wanted it to not be a competition because that kept some people out. They were like, I don't want to compete. I'm not good enough. And I wanted it to be where just people made patches. I've made all these videos teaching people how to make patches, the process, everything. And over 33 people made patches. There's 168 patches in the library. So that comes with BoomBox. And there's really cool patches. They got really creative with their programming. I was really impressed. None of my work is in there. I wanted it just to be showing off these guys' work. Check this out. Bob Deed is this composer that I hire him to do a demo for most of my libraries. This is using both BoomBox and the Boo bonus together. And it's like, you know, if you ever played Banjo and Kazooie, it's in that direction. He even put a witch cackle in, so. So it just takes me back to, in fact, truth be told, my daughter and I, way back on the Xbox, we played Banjo and Kazooie. And then it came out for the 360. Actually, I think it was the 360 that it came out. Xbox 360 it came out, not for the original Xbox. But with the Xbox One, I bought the updated little rare replay so that my daughter and I, when she's hanging out with me, we love to play Banjo and Kazooie, Nuts and Bolts, where you make things and do all these challenges. And there's music like this throughout the whole thing. So it's really funny he did this. It's all... But you hear all those hits and stuff in there. Without those, there would be no vibe. It would not be the same. He also did another demo. I'm not going to play the beginning because it shows one of my multis I want to show off. But it's all hits. This is the other side of BoomBox. That's all BoomBox. So this library can do the cinematic things. It can do the happy video game things. It can also be the really cool production things that you need to make a groove not just be that, right? In fact, it's cool to start the groove like this. And then when you come back to another cycle, add those types of elements. So there's all sorts of ways. It's designed also in a way so that you can go in and explore and change things. It's not like, what's fun with this? Like, for example, this sweep sound at the very beginning, one of the things that's in this library is these types of things. On track 8, it's a 32 count granular sweep. And if you look at the patches, there's granular sweep down, up, and just straight. So you have a pitchy G that is here going down. Here it is going up. And because it's set to granular, you can go in and change anything you want. Not only that, but it's a pitch. So if I wanted my song to be in a different key, if you buy a transition library, it's great. All these great transitions and stuff. But you're stuck pretty much to that key in most cases because it's just a sample. Unless you put it in, now once you start to speed up and slow down, it doesn't match the tempo and it doesn't match this. This is all tempo locked, my friends. So it's locked to be synced. So if I make this to be 204 beats per minute, that groove, the claps, they're all still set to 8th notes. That would be, I believe, part 7. Yeah, the 8th note granular claps. These are synced. So if I go from this to 70 beats per minute, it slows down the envelopes or speeds them up. It's not just a sample library like your typical sample library of transitions. So that's the fun thing with the library, is it's flexible. I'll get into the details of how you can change things here in a minute. But it's a library designed to give you production tools for your music, to make it unique and stand out and have some different, also to match what everybody else does, because a lot of people have these things in their tracks. And it's like, how do I get those? Well, here's a way to get them. Okay. So please come to my website, by the way. My website, pluginguru.com, is the website that sponsors and creates these libraries. There's lots of libraries. So let me show you this library. It's really fun. The Boo content is one library. If you go to the patches, you see Boo bonus. And all of these patches, basses, pads, drums, effects, hits, keys, noises, pads, synths, tons of crazy textures. There's wolves howling, there's coyote, there's all sorts of things in here. That's in the bonus library. And then in the multis, let's start with this. This is a combination. The way the library is built, just so you know, if we go to BoomBox, so you'll find that there's bells, anything that says core. I've made separate patches so that I could build these multis and make them available in an organized way. It's hard to find things. In here, they're organized by hits, atonal, where there's no pitch, or tonal, T equals tonal. So you can go through them and quickly find hits instead of searching through the search system and they're within 12,000 patches or whatever. Here they're all organized. Then on top of this, I made a whole bunch of hits at the very beginning that don't have that type of stuff. So these are all hits I've made, Brahms, tried to make Brahms. Some keys, noises, pads, all the sweeps with timing locked so that you can see both here the core samples of sweeps, as well as here they are counted out. 8th notes, one count is one beat. 16 would be for a one major of 4x4. And then 32, and you can make it longer than that if you wanted to. I'll show you how to do that. So here we go. So here are, let me reload this again just in case I didn't destroy it. Just beautiful bells. And then hits. And these I would load up core patches and then I would program them and a lot of these I wanted to have a melodic components so they could be useful for melody. Not just because we have some of those too. Into the Void Runner. This is kind of a Blade Runner inspired multi. One note. So there's LFOs going from fast to slow on elements. Still going on. Pity No One. Okay, that's 3. Sounds layered. You're Too Late. Sorry, they've left. You hear the bells in there? And this was a happy accident. 3 components. This. This is kind of fun because it shows how components can work in a unique way. Bonkers. And then the metal. Put all 3 of those together. You get this really cool, unique kind of composite instrument. Sweep. This was just a cool example of some of the things sweeps can do with some time spent programming on it. So you can play the mod wheel when you want the sub to hit. Stuff like that. And then this is really fun. This is more the texture side of things. One note. Goes on for a long time. And the cool thing with this is this sound right here, the flute, delayed flute. It's kind of a cool trick. I'm using 100% delay on the sound at a whole note, so it's delayed, and then I have it being used with the arpeggiator to repeat it. So when I play a note, that's how I got it to be delayed. I could have had the note just start then if I wanted to, but I did it this way. So you have this element that's repeating, and it's really easy to go in here and have it be that element doing the repeated. Actually, this is a good chance to show you something. So if you like, say we like the flute trill, right? I actually use trill 1. But if you were to go over here to the sample list and hit sound match, it will immediately find all sorts of sounds that are similar to that. So I have all these sounds that are without having to search through everything like I was doing a minute ago. It's there. So that kind of ability with the sound match allows you to find things similar to the thing that you liked, especially when it's like a sample with a flute thing or something like that. So those are the multis, and then I'm going to initialize this real quick, and let's look at the patches. So the heart of the library is down later, but let's start with bells. The biggest freaking bell on earth. The burning zinger. There's the light bulbs all organized together. All right, Too Late for Church. And Tubular. So you gotta have some bells before your hits hit, right? Here's the Depth of Space. The 1 BPM patch. I think I might do a future library of nothing but like texture BPM stuff. That would be really fun. Chord. That's part of the thing with the flute trill. Okay, then we get into drums. These are core, so that means it's just a single sound. There's a high pass filter. On all of these for the most part. I think Bob used that in Carousel. Drop kicks. And the nice thing to point out with these is that you have a high pass filter you can use here because there's so much low end. Hit the low pass filter. Find the place where it gives enough low end that you want, or not. If you just want to crash, it's a cool crash. I didn't do all of them. You'll see sometimes where it goes 1, 4, 5, 6. You could go here and then play 2, 3. I didn't want to use those for my library building, so I. Earth kick, just this huge, massive sub. I wasn't sure if I should put these in bell or drum. They're in drum. A little more unique how you'd play them. And I wanted them kind of by the gongs. The big gong. There is one in Omnisphere. You might not have known it, but it's there. These are snare layered samples. Okay. Now these residual elements. These were fun. These are the things that you can add to a drum groove. And they're tempo locked for the envelope shape. So if you want to hit snap, and the shape of this, you can make these into. A good thing to do with a lot of these is to right click and say add, so that you can add something to give yourself a body before it. It doesn't need to be much, but it makes it so that the decay, if it's like this, you'll hear that it's just like, even like this, it sticks out just a little bit more. Okay? So these are all elements. And again, take this hit the sample thing and hit sound match. And there's literally thousands of crazy sounds similar. So I kind of picked out different sound categories for each of these elements. So if you go over here and you hit sound match, you get breathy kind of stuff because it's a breath sample. This is like a guitar feedback thing, and it's in key, by the way. So if you turn on, I tune these, but if you go back to this and you hit sound match, so sound match is your friend. Water, the brook, and then I was playing and I was like, would it be cool if, like, because the envelopes can be tempo synced and they can be multi-segments, so why not do something like, instead of just a hit and it goes away, what about this? Right? So all the rest of these, I was like, these will be grow. So they're growing patches. Right? And again, hit sound match and you can find all sorts of things to plug into this shape. My patches are templates for you to then shape to your music. So because of the tools in Omnisphere, it's really easy to now that was one that, right? So check this out. Here's a sample that's a shorter sample. And so it actually went away before this went away. Well, let's turn on granular. And now it sustains because the granular makes it keep lasting and plays back slower and chops it into grains. And then if you have Creature-esque, we have all these presets that we've created that are so now I can cycle through that sample and have the groove playing while I'm doing this to nail it to be exactly what I want for my song. That's the kind of control I'm interested in. So, and then these, I took it somewhere else. So check this out. If you have a drum groove playing, let's solo this so that, if I have this playing here, so. Right? Because you can also use it this way. But these, because they had pitch, I was like, well, what if it was legato? So it's doing this tempo for rhythm, but you can play melodies with it. So you get, and then the mod wheel, I have it doing a filter and adding effects. So you can get all sorts of really cool variety into your groove just between that. Just hold down a note and play legato, and you have these drum rhythm elements that are melodic. And so it might sound weird, but we put in the mix. Sometimes you need just that weird off there stuff. And again, these are all different categories. This is modular stuff, so if you hit sound match, you're going to find all sorts of modular, weird mayhem things to play with. And if you want, you could actually just set this to synth and say like a sine wave. I didn't do that. That's very cool. Maybe I'll have to make, this patch library is not out yet. So maybe it's going to come with 301 patches. I might do something like that. But you get the idea. My job is to give you guys creative things and ideas thinking outside of your usual box. So that's what BoomBox is about. You're out of the box, right? Okay. Too Late Tom. Brahms. Nice and crunchy. These are big composite patches I made for hits. These, you don't need anything else besides this. It's just huge. There's your flute trill. This is fun because it's random sample start. And again, now that you know about this, right? Hit the sample folder. Hit sound match, and here's go crazy. There's literally, like I said, there's so many sounds inside of Omnisphere because you got to realize the history of Omnisphere is this culmination of work that Spectrasonics and Eric Persing have done. They've sampled and made in the early 2000s, 2010s, sample libraries like Distorted Reality, Vocal Planet. All of those samples are in here. So you have so many sounds to work with, plus new stuff, of course. But that's all in here to play with. So got to have some traditional, right? Then mysterious and Mortal Kombat! Hey, running through lightning. So major hits are here. And then here are the elements. I mean, there's so many. These are all atonal. The A means that there's no pitch. Or if there is, it's really tucked in there. Oh, here's a tonal. So these have melody. Okay. So many sounds to play with, you're gonna just love it. Okay, then that piano sound as part of the dulcimer composite. perfect for any cinematic. And it samples switching by velocity, and I made it really expressive as well, so it's in the programming. And then here's all your noises. There's fall downs. So if you have a groove playing, boom, it's down. If you have a 1, okay, there's crashes. And I listen to lots of techno records. Try to nail the vibe. And the fun thing with these also is that you play across the keyboard, I have a lot of key tracking with it, so you can, from that to across the keyboard gives you different crashes. And if you take this down a couple octaves, you get even to the, go here and turn this up more. If you tune it down, you might want to add something like maybe even the precision compressor. Something like that to get more body on the common. Some pads. These were pads with texture elements in them. So there's mysteriousness. There's also cinematic. Stuff like that. Midnight Possessed. Right? Mystery Motions. Becomes this really cool distorted thing. Okay, the Tragic Orchestra. Got this cool kind of stuff in it. And then We Lost the Battle. Sorry. Did not do well for your team. It's very sad. And then here's the sweeps. These are all the counted set up to the envelopes. If we go over here to the envelopes and take a look at these. So if your group is playing, say from 1, 1, 2. It's off. So it's a 1 beat. Here's 16. 3. 1, 2. Right? Now that was straight without any pitch, but there's also granular up. Wait, here it's up. And down. And with these, it's very easy if you're playing it. And let's see. So 2, 3. This is where envelopes that have curvature are really cool. Because if you change this curvature, I'm going to have it so that it goes down faster. And then it takes its time for the second half doing just this like 25% instead of it being an equal 50% throughout. Check how this is different. So it's down faster. Now if we do it the other direction, let's see if I can do this. It's tricky to do the start of a sequence in way up high. So you might go, oh, that sounds horrible. But the trick to that is then to go to your amp envelope and equally do this type of thing. Give me another curvature segment so I can go up here and then have this grow up like this. So this way it's quiet for that first part where it's really up high in pitch and doesn't change. Watch this. Two, three. That will get your attention, right? So by changing the envelopes for the mod 1 is pitch, amp is right here, you can get all sorts of variety. And the mod 1 is doing the pitch, which is assigned to right here on the pitch course. And if you right click and say show, you can see how strong it is. And if you want it to be more subtle, it's easy to do that. The mod wheel has effects on it, so you can add effects as it fades into the very end. Keep it dry to start. Right? All right, so they're very flexible. That's the whole idea, is flexible, creative stuff to work with. 2 count. So if we go to maybe 1, 2. You can play your timing however you want it to go. And the 32 step is forever. Now these automatically are set with granular on. So if it's a sample that's a one shot, it won't fade out. Which means you can go in and you can choose any sample. Even phrases, they won't fade out. That's pretty cool. And then I have resonance and delay and all that kind of cool stuff on the mod wheel, so you can really program it to taste. Now, core means that these are samples that don't have any envelopes. There's no tempo synced to anything that says core, because it's just the samples. Now, if you like this, and if you wanted to use that in a timed sweep, you could easily go to, like, say let's say the 4 count. Where's 4 count? Did I not do a 4 count? I did 8. Well, say you want to make a 4 count, right? We'll do that in a minute. But let's say, what was it sound? Clong sweep, was it 3? Yeah. We want to use clong sweep 3 in this. So you go here, type in clong sweep, and there it is. So you could load that sample in. It loads it in with its character, but it's set to granular so it won't fade out. So that's how you can go. You can search through here to find quickly the type of, oh, swan dive would be really cool for like a pitch down. So let's go to the 8 down and say swan dive. There it is. There. Now it's into a tempo synced, pitch falling. And this is 8. If I wanted it to only be half of this, just hit snap and move this to B5. Hello. Oh, there's 2 segments here. So right there. And same for the amp. Instead of going to 9, have it go to 5 and then drop out. So that's how you can go about getting things to be different. If you need it to be longer, you can zoom this out farther and make it as long of a sweep tempo-wise as you need. As long as the sync button is on, it will control the speed of that based on your tempo of your sequencer. Very handy. Okay? So that's the idea behind having all the core sweeps here for you to like quickly search through them, find the one you like, plug it in. Same with the hits. You could take some of the hits, some of these hits like Egyptian Harp. That would be really cool plugged into one of these. So let's go to the 4, let's go to 8 count. I think I'm going to make a 4 count. You don't see 4 count here. I'll make a 4 count before I release this. So it's Egyptian harp. So we go over here and we say Egyptian. I don't think there it is. So it's automatically into an engine with granular on. So I can use it in cool, unique ways. So that's why I grouped all of these samples that you see here in the hits and the sweeps that are samples, because you can plug them. The heart of this library is the drum elements and the sweeps. This is how you can plug them in really easy to use. So it's really fun. Okay, so I hope you get that concept across. It's kind of different, but same with these, the core textures. These are really cool sweep elements. So if you hear something here you like vibe-wise, plug it into sweep. All sorts of great. Now these are not coarse, that means that I programmed these. This has granular on one of the big hits. If I turn granular off, then it fades out. But because it's with granular on, and with these parameters, if you want to copy them, it's now a pad. The key is to make sure that you've got your speed down low and your positions where you want it. You could modulate this if you wanted to do. You know, that kind of stuff. Okay. Late for Life. Good name. Sirens are singing. Come to the cliffs. We love you. So here's Wide Open Riser. Now, this, by the way, is in the wrong category. So Wide Whizbees will go into sweeps because it's a sweep. It's fun. It's this sample. Let's unmodulate the pitch. If you listen, it's just got this back and forth motion in the sample. Pretty cool. Zed Leper. This great big huge guitar chord. Fades out over time. Tuvan pad. This is using the Tuvan drones map. So it has all the different Tuvan singers in one map. So you too can overuse these samples like everybody else. Okay, so that's the library. Lots of fun, creative stuff to enhance productions, to give yourself a unique personality, give yourself flexibility. You need sweeps, you need hits on things. We did a live stream a couple weeks ago about transitions. This is transition fodder, transition nirvana, okay? So thanks for watching. Enjoy. Happy Halloween. If it's Halloween time, if it's not, it will be soon. So thanks. See you later. Okay, bye.